Have you guys heard about Cheki KTN Ushinde promotion?
Have you also heard about the wonderful goodies coming your way?
Stand a chance of winning Xiaomi smartphones, internet bundles, home vouchers, airtime, my bands.
And what you need to do is to tune into KTN Home, send an SMS to 29599 to participate. Keep watching our channel for a chance to answer our trivia questions. Maswali mboga kabisa. Welcome to Parenting 101. This is where we get to learn more tips that helps us in our day-to-day parenting journey. Today, I'm joined by Dr. Kiragu, who is a pediatric allergist. We will be talking more about allergies. I know at one point in your parenting journey, you've had to deal with one allergy or the other. Let's learn all about that together. Welcome. Hi everyone, welcome to the Parenting Show. And today I'm joined by an amazing lady. She is Dr. Elizabeth Kiragu, who is an pediatric allergy specialist at the Aga Khan University Hospital. She will be telling us more about allergies. I know as a parent, at some point in life, you've had to deal with an allergy, and if not, then you're so lucky. So I'm going to welcome Dr. Kiragu so that she can tell us more about herself. Hi, Dr.
Hi, how are you? Thank you, Juliet.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Thank you for the invitation.
Most welcome, most welcome. And to start us off, maybe you can tell us who is Dr. Elizabeth Kiragu.
Okay. Yes, my name is Elizabeth Kiragu, and I'm a general pediatrician who has further trained in pediatric allergies, mainly because I come from a family with lots of allergies and I suffer from allergies by myself. So just just wanted to increase my knowledge of the condition and to help our children specifically as they battle these issues.
And maybe for someone to understand, what is, when we talk about an allergy, what is it? What is this allergy that you're talking about?
So I'm actually going to throw that question back to you, and you tell me, what is your understanding of allergy?
Okay.
Just tell me what you think, yeah.
Okay, trying to think. I'm thinking an allergy is any reaction in my body.
Yeah.
When I eat or drink or come into contact with something that maybe does not go well with my body. But then again, at some point, I get confused. Why is it that I'm reacting with that, with that thing. So that's where I get lost when it comes to this definition of allergy.
So you're almost 100% correct, by the way. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's basically, yes, you are. So it's basically when a person has a negative reaction, because it must always be negative. We don't want good things. We're talking about bad things that happen when you meet a specific, let me call it a substance, okay? And this particular substance is something that the rest of the world has no problem with. You understand? For example, if you're talking about people who have issues with milk, majority of the population has no problem with milk. But for you, you're in a specific category of people who are too sensitive, okay?
Yes.
And for us, an allergy, it comes about because your immune system, which is supposed to protect you from infections, okay, from anything that would harm you, has started misbehaving. There's no other word for it. It's called misbehaving. You start misbehaving and you start producing those chemicals that are supposed to protect you, but towards very normal things. For example, we need food for nutrition. If you don't eat, you die. Yeah?
Yes.
So the minute your immune system starts recognizing a particular food as something harmful to it, then that's what we call an allergy. And you must remember that those doses, whatever it is that you're taking, is something that everybody else can be able to take. Me, I can eat an egg, you eat one egg, and shortly you're having lots of problems. So it must be in a dose that everybody else can be able to tolerate. Yeah.
Okay. You've talked about maybe some substance, affecting your immune. Are there other general causes of allergies, apart from food?
Yeah, so allergies are different, yeah? So for example, if you look at asthma or the allergies for the nose or for the eyes, those triggers, the allergenic triggers, will be things in the environment, okay? So for example, you might be that type of person when it's windy and there's lots of pollen in the air, that triggers your allergy, okay? Or it could be that you're unfortunate enough to have dogs, and every time you interact with your dog, it either makes your eyes itch, your nose itch, you start tearing, you start coughing. So those are the type of things we call environmental allergens.
Okay. And when it comes to things like, food, are there popular foods that have really, emerged to be on the high list when it comes to causing allergies in babies?
Yes, a lot of the information that we have is based on studies that have been done in the West. But if you look at the studies that have also been done down south in South Africa, and even what we see here, but we're yet to publish, milk, especially in infants, children below 1 year, is very common. We have problems with wheat, we have problems with fish. I see a lot of peanut and cashew allergies. You could also be having a problem with soy. We are not very good at eating seafood, so seafood for us is not a main issue. The thing about food allergies is that it is driven a lot by what people eat. So if you eat a particular sort of food, then it tends to have a pattern in that particular region. But those are the most common foods which we have been able to identify.
Okay. Let me understand. From what you've mentioned, all these foods fall in the category of proteins, and someone would just ask, what is there in these proteins that will tend to be so reactive to babies and all that, even in adults in some cases?
Thank you for asking that very brilliant question. Now, when we say we are having an allergy with a particular substance, all those substances actually are protein in nature, okay? But the mistake we make is that the assumption that you only react to protein in the group of food which we classify as proteins. There are some people who might have a problem with cabbage. There's some people who have a problem with pumpkin. I'm telling you the truth, okay? You might have a problem with potatoes. So in each and every substance, there is a small part of which is protein. And it is that small protein part that the immune system will recognize and will have an issue with it, okay? And that is standard across the board. Apart from a very specific allergy, which we call beef allergy, which incidentally, the thing that the immune system does not like is a carbohydrate. So for parents, what I'd like to tell them is don't think that you shall avoid protein-based foods for your child, because that's where you think the allergies are coming from. You can actually react to anything. And the minute you go and withdraw these foods from your child, especially if it is not a true diagnosis, then your child is going to have issues with their weight and their growth, and will end up being malnourished.
See, another mistake most of us do, we rush when we notice something is not, going right. We rush to the nearest, chemist. This medicine called antihistamines.
Yes.
And we purchase because we are thinking this is the best. We've been told like this is the best when it comes to allergies. What is your take on that?
First thing, we need to understand that as much as we are calling all these conditions allergies, their treatment is very different. For example, asthma is a known allergy, isn't it? Okay? You will never use an antihistamine for asthma because it will not help. Okay? So if you have asthma, yes, it will not help, by the way, and you're just cheating yourself if you're gonna use it. The same way that you use an antihistamine for cough, it's also not gonna help your cough. Even for the normal cough from a common cold, it does not treat cough. Okay? So when you use an antihistamine, the question is, what exactly are you trying to treat? I would probably say the only reason that we tend to use an antihistamine as the first drug of choice is for people who have what we call hives. Okay? So hives are these lesions. Parents come and tell me the skin is boiling. The skin is boiling. Okay? Because they've got all these bumps on their skin, and they suddenly erupt, and they're very, very itchy. Okay? And they come and they go, so it looks like it's just moving about, and the child's eyes or the lip or somewhere might be swollen. So that's the time that we usually use the antihistamine. However, if your child has any of those signs I've talked about, those ones that would make a child be in danger of death, okay? Your airway has changed, the way the child is breathing, the way the child is talking, the way the child is crying has changed. A child has suddenly collapsed. Then that treatment is very different. And that one is an injection of a hormone that will open your airway, okay? So treatment is different depending on what allergy you have.
Okay, and what is commonly known, to treat the allergies, the different types of allergies? There, like you say, the treatment is different. Maybe you can narrow down to each kind of allergy and the most used treatment.
Okay, like for asthma, the mainstay of treatment at this point is to use steroids. And those steroids, we prefer inhaled steroids, mainly because they are safer. The dose is so small, so the side effects are minimal, okay? We give it to the area where they are required, like the chest, okay? And because we require you to use it every day. So the main treatment is your inhaled steroids. And then we give you something to relieve your breathing when you're having a problem. We call that Ventolin. If you're talking the nose allergy, it's also still a steroid, but this steroid is given to the nose. The reason why we are trying to avoid giving you lots of steroids to swallow is because the side effects are much higher. If you're talking about eczema, the first line treatment of eczema is to make sure that you've taken care of your skin. So you need to moisturize, okay? Use oils that allow your skin to retain water, okay? So and coconut is never gonna be your friend. Coconut makes your skin very nice and glossy, and then a few minutes after it's very dry. So coconut is not your friend, okay?
Wow.
Yes. Everybody comes and tells me they're using coconut, and I tell them no. The other thing is we use topical steroids to apply, and there are ways in which we apply the steroids because you also don't want you to use too much. If your problem is a food allergy, we identify what your food is, okay? We remove that particular food from the diet. We give you a safe substitute, okay? And then we make sure that you're growing well. If you have a child who has severe allergies like the ones I've talked about, that's a patient who needs to walk around with an emergency pen that can give them emergency medication when they need it. Yeah, we call that one an EpiPen or an adrenaline pen. Yeah.
Wow. And
Yeah.
doctor, I'm curious to know,
Yeah.
are allergies, inherited? Like, as a parent, I have this allergic reaction to eggs, and
Yeah.
when I eat eggs, I get to itch and get those big pimples all over the body.
Yes.
Can this be inherited by children?
So what children tend to inherit is the ability to have that immune system misbehaving. Okay, we call it the dysregulation. Okay, they may not inherit your particular allergy. So like you, if you have a problem with egg, it doesn't mean that your children will not eat egg. Okay, but they will develop, they will inherit that ability to develop allergies of different natures. Okay, but it is very common. It's a very common question that parents ask me. Me, I don't have any allergies. If father doesn't have any allergies, why does my child have allergies? And the reason for that is because our environment is changing us, and it is changing our genes. Okay, and the genes is what our children inherit from us. So because we are adapting a more westernized lifestyle, okay, so it is changing the way our immune system behaves. And so you'll find that children who had no background, family history of any allergies are now starting to develop the allergies. So that's something that we have to look for going forward. The allergies will they'll only become more and more common.
And do we have maybe types of allergies that, even if you use medication, they can never go? You'll have to deal with them and keep using medication all over your life.
Yeah, so that's a good question. So the first thing to understand is allergies are more chronic. They're chronic illnesses, so they tend to be there for a while. Okay. Some allergies are outgrown, a lot faster than others. For example, food allergies, people tend to outgrow them quite a lot. Okay, unless you're speaking about specific allergens. Okay, the allergy for the nose is one of those ones that tends to stay for a while. Okay, asthma, asthma, people tend to outgrow. The same for eczema. So usually what I tell people is sometimes you're not able to predict what's going to happen to your child. The most important thing is to make sure that during that season that child gets exactly what they need. Okay, so do not deny your child their asthma medication because you think it's not required. Fine, they're going to outgrow it, that's okay. But will their airway be the same as if they didn't have it? Because you must think about what happens. This immune system is producing chemicals that cause changes. So what we are trying to do in treating these children is to maintain the normal state for as long as possible. So I don't like putting a timeline for parents because it stresses them. If that timeline reaches that the child has not outgrown, then parents get very stressed. So it is to work with every child for that particular season.
Dr. as we come to a close, when you're weaning your baby at 6 months, this is where many parents get to know what is doing well for my baby, what is not working. And it is also a time when you can notice any kind of reaction or allergy. Is there a specific routine or step that parents should follow so that you can tell which food is not working for my baby and which one is not? Because sometimes we give the baby so much that we don't even know what is not working.
Okay, that's an excellent question. Probably what I'd say, the first thing is, these days we don't advocate for parents to delay introduction of those foods because it has been found that the more you delay introduction, the chances are higher that your child will actually develop these allergies. So those stories of giving fish at 2 years and an egg at 1 year, everything must be introduced during the weaning period. So things have changed. Okay. My advice to parents is to be systematic. Just be systematic. Parents tend to worry a lot about what we've already talked about, the proteins, and especially the animal proteins. So my suggestion to parents is, if you want to introduce that food, mom, be the person to give that food. Don't leave it to your nanny, okay? Introduce this food early during the day, okay? So that if anything should happen, you know where you're going. Don't start giving foods in the middle of, at night, and then you don't know where you're going to go for help, okay? What are you looking for?
Okay.
It's true. These are practical things. What are you looking for? Your baby was completely well. All of a sudden, my child has started getting a rash. My child is very uncomfortable. My child is looking itchy and irritable. My child is swelling somewhere. My child has started vomiting. My child is coughing. Like I said, you pick up your child and you run to the nearest hospital, okay? And those type of reactions tend to occur within minutes, okay? And then if you've given that food the first day, you can repeat it the second day, the third day, just to make sure that they also don't have delayed reactions. So constipation, or they have stool that has blood and things like that. Or those rashes you were talking about when you eat too many eggs, okay? Once you have determined that that food is safe, move to the next one. And just be systematic. Meat is fine, beans is fine, jahe was fine, and you move on like that. Any food that you think is that one you keep away and you discuss with your pediatrician, or like we said with ourselves. Let me ask you, how do you make your malenge? How do you give it in that formulation so that your baby can swallow? What do you do to it?
I mash,
yeah,
and then I ensure it's smooth for her.
So that's the thing, and blending allows you to do that, okay? When you think about blending, for those who can afford a blender, the reason why I prefer blending a little bit is because when you mash, you only look for soft foods, so you leave all the other foods. If I told you to give your child broccoli, you're not going to give your child broccoli because you can't mash it, but you can blend it, so then it gives you a very wide variety of foods that you can give, okay? And it's the consistency that matters, that's it. Their food and your food is not different. The only thing you haven't added are salt, okay, and those spices that you buy in bottles. Otherwise, it's exactly the same.
Wow.
Because they get bored. Children get very bored. You keep giving them malenge, they'll refuse to eat.
Yes.
Yeah.
They want to eat what the other members are eating.
Exactly. So follow those cues. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dr. for someone who would like to reach you for any kind of advice, maybe you can share with us where to find you.
So I'm at the main Aga Khan hospital in the Department of Pediatrics, okay? So should I share the number where they can reach us in the clinic?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so our clinic number is 0711 09 2591 or 2790, okay? So you can find myself, you can find all the other specialists incidentally who work within our department. If you want a chest specialist, you want a heart specialist, a brain specialist, all of us can be reached on those numbers. So then we'll give you a booking and then we'll be able to see you should the need arise. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much, Dr. I've learned a lot, and I always say in this journey of parenting, we can never get enough. We have to keep learning and learning. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the invitation, and thank you for the lovely discussion.
So much to everyone who's been able to tune into the show. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your company. Thank you for giving us feedback. And yeah, it's time for me to say goodbye. But before I say goodbye, I want to big up my auntie. She's called Celeste. She all the way from, it's called Kapsisi. I mean, yeah, my roots. But anyways, yeah, thank you so much. She's a great fan of the show. And aliniambia nimsalimia kwa TV. So auntie, I hope mwapokea salamu. Anyways, even my mom, by the way, oh my, I almost forgot, in case, but you sema I simsalimiangi kwa TV. But anyways, thank you, mom. Thank you so much, mom, for being my greatest fan. Yeah, thank you, and big up to you, and I love you. Anyways, guys, it's time for me to say goodbye, but I'll see you next week, same time, same place. Please make sure we interact on our social media handles throughout the week before the show, and yes, stay safe. From me to you, goodbye and God bless.